Why does everybody make fall food look so gross? Look, instead of trying to scare people with your food for just the last day of October, how about exciting everyone with great fall flavors the entire season? And today I've got 21 great flavors of fall that you can put into your cooking today and stop this ghoulish fall food abuse today on the Carefree Cooks Code. I'm Chef Todd Moore, and this is the Carefree Cooks Code, every Tuesday live at noon Eastern. Here's our challenge. How can home cooks cook freely with creativity, confidence, and pride while ignoring recipes and still impressing themselves and others with what they cook? Well, the answer is found in becoming empowered with how cooking works, using dependable and repeatable methods of cooking that work for any ingredient, for any diet, and any desire, just like chefs do. And we'll know we've cracked it when everyone sees cooking as an exciting and rewarding way to improve their relationships, their lifestyles, and their health through better food and cooking. This is the Carefree Cooks Code. Hey, welcome back to the Carefree Cooks Code, everyone. I always get so excited on Tuesdays. This is our weekly show for the methods, the techniques, the insights into better food and cooking, and we're live every Tuesday at noon Eastern. It's been this way for a few years now. I think I've missed one. And nonetheless, you can find all the past ones. You won't find the one I missed in 2 years, because obviously it won't be on my archive in Facebook. Go to facebook.com/chef.todd.moore/videos. And if you want to see what I'm cooking and how I cooked it, go to Todd Moore, Chef Todd Moore on Instagram as well. Hey, everybody, let's say it together, because this is really what binds us. This is what boils down, all the elements of being a carefree cook. I create my own recipes. I bring friends and family together. I learn every time I cook. That's such a big difference. I create my own cooking style because I practice pro methods and I love my cooking, and that's what makes me a carefree cook. But today, look, we got to have a serious talk, because this is the time of year that drives me crazy. Please stop playing with your food. I mean, I know it's the season for tricks and treats, but that shouldn't give you the ghoulish notion that you can make your food look disgusting and think people are still going to want to eat it. Remember the old eating with your eyes thing? Well, today we're going to talk about making food taste like fall instead of just looking like Halloween. But first, I've got a true or false for you today. Tell me in the comments section below, kind of a fall theme, I guess. True or false, store potatoes with an apple to delay them from sprouting. Tell me in the comments section below, is that statement true or false? Look, we all know how great it is when spring comes around. You know, think about months ago and all your freshest vegetables are available to you, and spring cooking is great, isn't it? It means all the fresh fruit, the tomatoes that come into season, all the new leafy greens, right? And you head to your farmer's market so that you can get these high quality local foods that really makes your cooking that much better. Everybody agrees also on what summer cooking is all about. Summer cooking is outdoors, it's on the grill, and it's simple food usually in the summer. And the other great thing about summer cooking is if you burn it, it's okay. You just say it's nicely blackened on the grill. Burning is allowed in the summer somehow. And in the US, it's hot dogs and hamburgers, it's corn on the cob, the potato salad, the coleslaw, and everybody understands about winter cooking. That's when the holidays come around. That's when you start roasting a whole bird. Winter cooking means baking pies, cakes, cookies, more breads and rolls. The cooking in the winter, you can feel the warmth of winter cooking. So where does that leave fall? That leaves fall as the grossest time of the year for cooking. Why? Why is this? I mean, you don't carve a scary face into a head of lettuce in the spring, do you? You don't make hamburgers that look like brains. You don't feel compelled to make your hot dogs look like fingers in the summer, do you? Only in the fall. So why do we abuse food so badly in the fall? I mean, it can't just be because of Halloween, can it? I mean, if it's all for Halloween, okay, then I understand. Never mind. I can get down off my soapbox. But if you want to scare people with your gross out cooking, then you're cooking for one specific day. Fine, do that for one day, but don't do it for the entire season. Don't make gross food for the whole season. This whole fall cooking season, you can tell that it's a passion of mine. How about concentrating on the tastes, on the flavors of fall that maybe will shock your tongue instead of the scary sights shocking your eyes, the things that everybody else focuses on. In other words, let's amaze the taste buds instead of frighten the eyes with fall cooking. And that's why today I've come to you with my top 20 fall flavors that you should be putting into your cooking right away. Stop scaring people and start amazing people. Truly, there were 21, but no pumpkin spice. I had to throw pumpkin spice the heck out of there. Pumpkin spice is banned. All right, so if you were expecting me to say pumpkin spice, ain't gonna do it. All right, so let me tell you the ways that your cooking can say fall without saying gross. Let's start with the list here. Number one, you could guess it. I'm not doing them alphabetically, or maybe I am, but apple is at the top of the list. Think about all the things that you can do with apples in the fall, and it makes sense because that's when apple harvest is, especially here in the Northeast in the United States. Baked goods, apple pies, apple sauce that goes into breads. Poached apples are wonderful. Roasted apples, they go with that cooking method as well. You can puree apples for sauce. You could make applesauce. You could make apple butter. Somebody today in the group, I don't want to mess up her name, but was so proud of her apple butter and her applesauce. I was proud of her too. I could see it. I could taste the pride in that. Then you start using your cooking methods and you think maybe applesauce could be a thickening agent for a fall-inspired sauce, or it could be a sweetener in a casserole. Don't just think about apple with apple pie. Think about how you can put the flavor of apple into the cooking methods that you're already using. That's the way to do it. And if you're using apples, then how about apple cider? Instead of wine, how about deglazing a sauté pan with apple cider? Probably going to have to add a little bit of sugar after that to balance that, but the apple cider can be really exciting as a deglazing liquid. Think about steaming something in apple cider. I used this just recently. What was it? Oh, in the chili. On Saturday, my chili was way too sweet. And I put that acid in there, the two sides of the palate, and it made it perfect. It's just a little bit tart and a little bit sweet rather than too sweet. So you can steam an apple cider vinegar. You've seen me do this with shrimp. I always steam my shrimp in water, apple cider vinegar, and of course a whole bunch of Old Bay. It can be a poaching liquid. It can be a little bit of garnish at the end on a soup. It's amazing the things that apple cider vinegar can do for you. Bacon. Bacon to me is a flavor of fall. It's smoky, it's fatty, and traditionally that's when you slaughter the hogs in the fall. That's when our homestead relatives way back when, that's when they had bacon. So that's a flavor of fall. Think about rendering bacon fat for a saute. The difference between a butter saute and a bacon fat saute takes it from spring to fall immediately for me. Everybody's made bacon and crumbled it for garnish. I saw a slew of potato soups after last Saturday's 2 methods for making potato soups video. Again, if you haven't seen any of these videos, facebook.com/chef.todd.more/videos. Bacon crumbled for garnish. Have you wrapped things in bacon? Scallops or chicken breasts or chicken livers, rumaki, things like that. It's pretty much endless what you can put bacon in. Unless you're a vegetarian, then never mind. That wouldn't make sense to you at all. Beer. Beer is a great flavor of fall, and similar to apple cider vinegar, deglaze a saute pan with beer. I used to do my tailgating, and this is part of Fall Cooking is Cozy also, as a matter of fact. This is a great video. Everybody will bring a barbecue grill to the football game or to the tailgate, right, in the parking lot. But to me, the hibachi barbecue grill is a summer cooking device. I bring my saute pan, my portable burner, and I do a beer shrimp scampi right in the parking lot. Now, shrimp scampi, butter and lemon, for the spring or summer. I bring it into the fall with bacon fat and deglazed with beer. It's an amazing tailgate dish. But anyway, you can use beer to steam in. You can poach ribs in beer. This is the way I do it. Poach my ribs, my pork ribs or my beef ribs in beer for an hour or two. Then when I take them out and grill them, they are so pull off the bone. So they get the convective cooking method of poaching in beer. Then they get the conductive cooking method of broiling them or putting them on the grill or roasting them in the oven if your grill is covered with snow and you don't want to do that. Beer batter. In the fall, great as an ingredient. A lot of things you can do with beer. Take it from me, it's a side dish as well. Beer. Brown butter. Hey, you might have created brown butter at some point while you weren't trying. But the idea behind making brown butter is taking the milk solids in whole butter and burning them. Brown butter doesn't come from clarified butter. That's just smoked fat. But if you take whole butter and really burn the milk solids, you get a brown butter. You have to do this slowly and delicately. A great fat for saute, brown butter. You might think it's burned. It's not. A lot of people do brown butter. One of my favorite dishes that I make every fall that I have not made in a year or so, and I'm going to have to do a video for this. I do butternut squash ravioli. Not poached in liquid. Well, yes, poached first, but then sauteed in walnut brown butter. Let me say that again. Butternut squash ravioli sauteed in walnut brown butter. Unbelievable. Brown butter for pasta. Make a brown butter hollandaise. It's going to taste a lot more like fall than it's going to your spring hollandaise. Brown butter for vegetables. I do Brussels sprouts that I steam first to make them soft. Maybe I would steam them in beer. Then I'll dry them and saute them in brown butter. That is a deep fall flavor that's really amazing. Tea. I cook with a lot more tea in the fall, especially things like chai tea or heavily flavored teas. They're really good for deglazing. Again, really good for steaming liquids. If you've never done a green tea or a black tea steamed fish or steamed or poached chicken breast, it adds a whole nother flavor to it. Great for poaching liquids, great for liquid in a soup, not making a soup out of tea with vegetables in it, but it's a flavoring that you can add to your soup as well. Just imagine a chai tea flavoring with a soup of a pureed root vegetable like carrot or something with a little bit of apple sauce to thicken it. You start building these fall flavors. You get the idea? The one that's almost trite is cranberry. Cranberries in the fall, and you know how associated they are with our holidays in the U.S., but cranberries are not just for sliding out of a can. Whole, fresh cranberries, they're very tart, but they're excellent if you combine them with something sweeter. Cranberries in all kinds of baked goods. Don't make your blueberry muffins that you do in the spring. Make your cranberry muffins that you do in the fall. Cranberry sauces, not just jiggly gelatinous cranberry sauce, but imagine deglazing a saute pan with cranberry juice. Imagine making a beurre blanc or a hollandaise and mounting it with a little bit of cranberry at the end. Cranberry side dishes are great. Cranberry rice is excellent. You saw me last Thursday stuff a pork loin with brown rice and cranberry. Great flavor of fall. Similarly, figs. If you don't eat figs, if you think figs are only in Fig Newton cookies or something like that, you have a fall flavor that you're missing. Obviously in baked goods, figs, pureed figs in sauces, excellent. Fig in a side dish, again, like cranberries, with your rice, with your grains. Fig in couscous, fig in lentils, fig desserts, of course. And I'll tell you, there's a pizza place that I used to go to that I don't. It's a few blocks away. They do very artisan pizza, and they had a bacon and fig pizza, I think with goat cheese. So it's like a flatbread with fig, bacon, and creamy goat cheese and ricotta. There's such a fall pizza. I think they put arugula on top of it as well, the very kind of bitter lettuce. Fig and bacon, 2 fall flavors, great to use. Ginger is a great flavor of fall. If you haven't used it, you might think about it only for saute, the aromatic nature of it, what gets into your nose. And yes, great aromatic for saute. But if you do a lot of potatoes in the fall, ginger and potato goes really, really well. All of your pureed soups. All of the soups that you might make in the fall, the root vegetable puree, the carrot soup, the turnip soup, the cauliflower soup, although it's not a root vegetable, the potato soup, all on and on, beet soup, a little bit of ginger in there, it just makes a different dimension to it as well. Ginger in your grains, I'll do it again, ginger rice, ginger pasta, ginger noodles, just a little touch that you might not have ever used before. You don't have to go, oh, wow, I really taste that ginger. You really just have to go, ooh, what is that interesting flavor? I don't know what kind of fork I'm using with 2 fingers. It's a little itty-bitty fork, I guess. Let's get into the nuts. The hazelnuts, pecans, walnuts that go in your baked goods, that top your casseroles, that are great roasted, that are excellent as a vegetable garnish. The string beans that you might open a can of cream of mushroom soup and pour the soup all over the string beans, don't do that. Either make your own cream of mushroom soup or steam the green beans first and then saute them in a hot pan. They'll get a little brown, they'll get a little crispy, kind of like Chinese restaurants will saute green beans in a wok and then throw in a bunch of nuts. Almonds, hazelnuts, pecans, walnuts, whatever you want, takes your basic green bean dish into an entirely new season. Maple. Maple is a great flavor of fall, and like I was joking about last week, every Canadian has a maple tree in their backyard, so good for you. Of course not. Maple, great on potatoes. If you've never roasted some potatoes with a little bit of maple, the Hasselback potato where you slice it, like an accordion, pour a little bit of maple on there. Maple is going to caramelize a lot more quickly, gives you that really sweet flavor. But again, if you get too sweet, you're going to need an acid or something spicy to balance it. So basil, cayenne, sweet potato. Let me say that to you again. Maple, cayenne, sweet potato. Good palate balancer. Try that. Maple in sauces. Maple is a thickening agent. It's going to sweeten your sauces as well. Maple in your casseroles. Maple in your pureed soups. In your pureed root vegetables. Imagine roasted maple carrots and dill. Carrot and dill goes really well together. Maple, carrot, dill. Oh my goodness, it'd be so great. Just like figs, pears. Pears are superb in the fall, in baked goods. Poached pears are amazing. A poached pear is even better than a poached apple because they just get so much softer. A poached pear in red wine that takes on the color of the red wine that you then slice on a bias and shingle on a plate is such a beautiful, attractive plate presentation for fall. Pears are great roasted. Roast them along with your vegetables. Imagine cubed pears with carrots, potatoes, turnips, and parsnips. Great fall flavor. Puree your pears for soups as a thickening agent or as a sweetener as well. Here's one you might not have thought about, but I always associate this with fall. It's pomegranates. Pomegranates are great in baked goods. The blueberry muffins, for the spring that I talked about, that become cranberry muffins in October, make them pomegranate muffins in November. Great in baked goods. Pomegranate liquid, excellent for a poaching liquid, excellent for a steaming liquid. The pomegranate seeds are fantastic for garnish on a salad or on vegetables or on grains. Pomegranate brown rice or pomegranate brown rice pilaf or all these kinds of things. I'll give you a tip also about cleaning the pomegranate. You break one of these things open and it's all these seeds and there's this white pith in there, very, very almost like styrofoam. The best way to clean a pomegranate is underwater. No. I don't mean mask and snorkel like you're totally submerged. That's silly. You don't need a pool to clean a pomegranate. I mean, in a bowl of water, when you submerge the pomegranate in water and pull it apart, the seeds will sink to the bottom and the pith will rise to the top. The pith floats, the seeds sink. So good way to clean a pomegranate. Red wine. I mean, this should go by itself. And under red wine, I'm also going to throw all the liquors that I like to cook with in the fall. Bourbons and whiskeys and even like Kahlua or Bailey's or some of these thicker coffee liqueurs, Tia Maria. I cook with a lot of port. I cook with a lot of sherry, as you've seen in the fall. It's that smoky flavor that comes from the liquids. It's that tannin quality from a red wine. And of course, you use a red wine for deglazing. You can steam with red wine. You can use red wine as a poaching liquid. Beef bourguignon, braising with red wine. A coq au vin, a chicken dish, braised dishes, great with red wine and liquors as well. All right, so that's 15 of them or so. Let's get to some spices, some characteristic spices and herbs that you can use for the fall as well. Allspice is a commonly misunderstood. Allspice is not a combination of all spices. It is a specific berry unto itself. Great in baked goods. Allspice is excellent for beef and lamb. It gives it a very low. You've heard me talk about food as notes. Allspice is where like lemon and vinegar is right? Allspice is all right. I won't do that again. Mushrooms, allspice and mushrooms. And mushrooms, another good fall flavor. A little bit of allspice in your stews, in your chilies. Excellent. I don't have to tell you that cinnamon is a flavor of fall in your baked goods. Cinnamon is good for game. I saw somebody was in our Carefree Cooks community, somebody was cooking venison today and talking about the gaminess of venison. All these spices that I'm talking about, if you're in a place where you're a hunter, I'm glad if you're a hunter that you eat the animal. I'm an animal lover. I'm also a chef and non-vegetarian, so that's my issue, okay, to deal with. I get freaked out when I clean fish, so that's how nutty I am about animals. But nonetheless, if you're a hunter and you thank you for eating the food, all these things that I'm going to talk about right now, if you have venison, cinnamon is really good to take that gaminess out of venison. Allspice is good for taking the gaminess out of game. Game birds as well, if you're hunting ducks or pheasant or geese, things like that this time of year. Cinnamon is great on potatoes. Cinnamon in a chili if you're in Cincinnati. Is that right? Ohio chili has cinnamon in it, right? That's how our Cincinnati cinnamon, that's how I remember. In your stews and stuff as well. Cloves are in this palette of seasoning as well. Be careful with the cloves, though. Man, they are so powerful. For me, I hate them. I hate cloves, and they kind of don't agree with my system. I've tried to buy spice mixes like garam masala for Indian cooking, a Chinese 5-spice for Asian cooking, and these pre-mixed seasonings that I try not to buy. Whenever they have cloves in them, they don't sit well with me. But you didn't even ask that, so I don't know why I told you it. Cloves, little bit on potatoes. Cloves, great on vegetables. Just a touch of cloves in a sauce, even like a white sauce, puts a muddy element to it that puts a different dimension on it. Poultry, cloves on poultry, really, really good. Clove, I'll give you a little bit of background. In Latin, clavel is nail. The word clavel is nail. And I think in Spanish too, clavel is nail. So a clove from Latin, because the whole clove, it's spiky, not ground cloves, but it's a spike. That's why it's called clove. But this is where we do onion piqué, something that I think I'm about to show you soon. You take an onion, a bay leaf, and you tack the bay leaf to the onion with a clove, and you create a flavored milk or a flavored stock from that. It's called onion piqué. You use the clove because the clove is like a nail, and that's why it's named. Anyway, moving on. More bonus there for you, no extra charge. in the free class. Nutmeg, great. Potatoes, vegetables, sauces, in your drinks as well. If you're doing hot toddies or hot buttered rum or even hot chocolate, a little bit of nutmeg goes a long way as well. Rosemary. Oh, I could just think about waving a rosemary sprig under my nose for beef. Rosemary is a very important member of my beef team when it comes to seasoning. Rosemary chicken, rosemary on duck, geese, again, your game. Rosemary on pork is excellent. Potatoes, sauces as well. Sage is another herb that I use more often in fall than any other. Again, sage on poultry. It's a big part of my poultry team. On pork, on game, sage on potatoes, just sage in your oven. Here's a crazy thing. Talk about the convective nature of your oven. If you take a whole potato, put it in your oven, and throw fresh sage leaves in there and let it all kind of steam in the sage leaves, your potato will have an aromatic quality of it. You don't have to actually put it in. It's crazy. Thyme does that as well. I use maybe oregano is the number one spice in my cabinet I use most often, but that's a summer and spring spice. It is replaced by thyme in the fall, on beef, on poultry, on game, on potatoes, in my sauces, everything, just about everything gets thyme. And I'm going to add one more. And since I banned pumpkin spice forever, the heck with them, I need to give you one more bonus flavor to bring it back up to 21. Feel like I'm cheating you a little bit. So for me, you see me use it almost every video. It's mustard. I love mustard in the fall, especially whole grain mustard, because whole grain mustard, more so than the Dijon or especially the yellow mustard is a summer mustard. The whole grain mustard is a fall mustard. So whole grain mustard with maple, with apples, with brown butter, with bacon, just about everything else that I mentioned, it's really something. Whole mustard goes on greens. Whole mustard on Brussels sprouts, whole mustard with mushrooms. I mean, these all bring a fall flavor that your basic yellow mustard can never do. And there they are, ladies and gentlemen. That's a big monologue on my part. 21 flavors of fall that you can start to put into your cooking right away, because I don't want you to change the method. No, you don't change cooking methods for a new season. You just change the ingredients for a new season. Carefree cooks know this already. Just because it's fall, it doesn't mean you change the 9 steps in the basic saute method. They stay the same no matter what season it is. That never changes. The methods are always the same. The methods we teach in web cooking classes. But what you apply the methods to is always up to your own creativity, and that's where a new season comes in. So, look, instead of trying to make your food look like one specific day in October, how about trying to make it taste like the entire season by using the flavors of fall that are delicious, not scary? All right, let's see. Time for the Carefree Cooks collection. This is our museum display, if you will. We're going to peek into the Carefree Cooks community. This is our private Facebook community for lifetime members of web cooking classes. And we're going to see who's already using the great flavors of fall. And I warn you, there's a parade of chilies this week. Everyone has gotten inspiration from Saturday's live chili class that I did. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. The aha moment I think that everybody had here is that chili is not like cooking up a crushed up hamburger with beans in it. Chili is cooked with a stewing method. It takes a long time. Chili's not a quick dish. So let's see. First, Kimberly followed the method, but she decided to use cumin and mustard. Cumin's a good one for fall as well. Dorothy made her chili, but Dorothy, leave us a description, please. I can't tell you what's in it because Dorothy didn't write a description. Same with Leora. Leora, your chili looks great, but I wish you'd tell us what you cooked it with and how you cooked it. That's how we inspire other people. Carrie put some sweet peppers and jalapenos in her game day chili. She said she left the Carolina Reaper peppers out of respect for company. I'm sure they appreciate that. Thank you. The Reaper pepper is like a blow your tongue up, hot pepper. Maureen went all the way out of her comfort zone. She added coffee and cocoa powder to her chili. That's crazy. She said it was crazy cold outside, but her chili was crazy good, so that kind of balanced. Bob, he said he wasn't even sure that he's ever made chili from scratch before, but when the temperature dropped where he is, he decided to try the method that I demonstrated, and I'd say that's a win, Bob. Nice job. Jerome started his chili first thing in the morning. See, Jerome understands what a stewing method is about. He let it simmer all day long. He put some whiskey in there, Worcestershire, and orzo pasta. I like that a lot. He said the final chili was awesome indeed. I like that. Awesome indeed. Kathy followed my chili stewing method and even slipped in some healthy cauliflower rice without anybody noticing. She didn't tell anybody. She said, pardon, the family said the best chili she's ever made, was the response from the family. I love hearing the pride about that. Janice, she was inspired to make chili and cornbread muffins. Chili and cornbread is a food marriage that will always be. Here's Betty's chili. Betty also, no description, so I can't tell you what's in it. Let's see what else is fall inspired. It can't just be all about chili, right? Dean, this was really cool. Dean made a cranberry sauce for his crepes. Maybe it's strawberry crepes in the spring and cranberry crepes in the fall. That's a really nice twist on a French pancake. Nicely done. Janet took the challenge that she saw me last Thursday stuff a pork tenderloin with brown rice and cranberries. Takes a little practice, Janice, but this one is really, really nice, really lovely. Lucy made a loaded potato soup. Where's Lucy's soup? Nope, that's there. Lucy made a loaded potato soup with, that's what it was. Oh God, I got things popping on my computer. Her soup, brilliant. It's going to fight off all the chills that you might have. Kathy, why am I having problems? There you go. Kathy did a beef pot pie for her family that brought down the house. Look, everybody loves cozy fall cooking, that's for sure. It's so much fun. It's really exciting when you start expanding the flavors in your cooking for a new season. And look, I'm not sure why this is such a revelation to so many people, but fall cooking is different than any other season. It's not summer cooking. It's not winter cooking. It's not the same cooking as spring cooking. Fall cooking has methods and flavors all of its own. And as soon as you embrace the changes that your cooking needs to make for fall, the more variety that you're going to have for changing the seasons. Running long today, but let's get back to the true or false. What did you say? Is this true or false? Yeah, the answer is true. You store potatoes with an apple to avoid the potatoes from sprouting. The thing is, the apple gives off an ethylene gas that prevents them from sprouting. The onions, on the other hand, here's an extra tip. Onions do the exact difference. The gases that onions put off will cause them to sprout. Apples prevent or delay the potatoes from sprouting. Onions cause it. So I usually put an onion and an apple and just let them fight it out, you know? No, don't put an apple in there. Hey, if you know someone who is abusing their food, the fall foods, by making them look scary instead of delicious, please like this video and share it with them and get them on the right path to great fall cooking. And if you really want to add some excitement and interest to your cooking, my new free online class, Fall Cooking is Cozy, 3 surprising ways to enrich your fall cooking that you might be missing out. It's going to make it really easy for you. So go to webcookingclasses.com/cozy to find out when the next time for the next free class is. So until next Tuesday, where we take a few more steps in trying to crack the Carefree Cooks Code, this is Chef Todd Moore reminding you that there's always a method to your cooking success. Bye, everyone.